Well, I am woke now, and I can prove it. Here you go. I love illegal immigrants. Yeah, sue me now. Sometimes I go down to Dover for the day, right? And I look out, right? I look for a boat, and I see a dinghy with about 60 of them, and I go over here, like, right? And I pull them into shore, and I go, women and children first. They go, there are no women and children. Just you lads, is it? Just come on, lads.
Woke culture is about breaking stereotypes, including those around immigration. In the clip, the speaker humorously highlights their self-proclaimed woke stance by engaging in a fictional act of helping immigrants arrive safely. This comedic exaggeration points to how woke culture emphasizes empathy and humanitarian values. The speaker uses humor to address a serious issue, the treatment of illegal immigrants. However, the satire lies in how they navigate their narrative with lines like women and children first, and being met with a response about there being no women or children. This humorous approach reflects a broader cultural critique. Are we truly committed to the ideals of inclusivity and understanding, or are we just posturing for appearances? Woke culture demands that society recognize immigrants not just as statistics, but as individuals with dignity and rights.
You can get sued in this country for saying someone's gay if they're not, you know, which is a homophobic law, because you can't be sued the other way around. You can't be sued for saying someone's not gay if they are, which seems unfair, doesn't it? Relax, I'm going to be nice tonight. I've changed. Not as much as Bruce Jenner, obviously. And I found out my crime was that I dead named her. Now, I'd never heard that term, you know, before a day after the Golden Globes, and that was saying her old name and even acknowledging that she used to be a man. But she did. I saw him on the Olympic Games. It was decathlon. It was in everything. He was all over the place. Shot put and pole vault. He won a medal. He was famous. He was on telly all the time. But, you know, a big, famous man with a huge, I don't know, but I mean, I guess he probably, he's a big... But
one significant element of woke culture is its focus on gender identity and the language surrounding it. The speaker humorously recounts an experience of dead naming, using someone's previous name before their transition. This practice is considered offensive in woke ideology because it disregards an individual's journey and chosen identity. By referencing Bruce Jenner's transition to Caitlyn Jenner, the clip dives into the societal shift in understanding gender identity. Woke culture asks us to embrace and respect these changes, yet the speaker's reaction showcases how generational gaps and traditional perspectives can clash with modern expectations. The humor employed highlights the awkwardness some feel when adapting to these changes, but also subtly critiques the lack of space for learning without judgment. Woke culture seeks to elevate the importance of using language that affirms rather than harms, making these discussions pivotal in evolving societal norms.
The worst thing is, the f***ers in charge do what they want. And you know what, I can, you know, I see all these people saying, all the parties they were having and what all the stuff they were doing, and people were saying, you know, that was the day I couldn't see my mum in hospital, or I couldn't go to my dad's funeral, and because the people in charge, the posh, privileged people in charge, were acting like Charlie Sheen. I mean, really rubbing salt in the wound. And as I say, I don't get political, but they're all shit.
Ricky Gervais, never one to shy away from controversy, has often used his sharp wit to dissect the hypocrisy of those in power. His comedic lens amplifies a universal frustration: the double standards of leadership. In one of his most biting critiques, Gervais highlights the audacity of privileged leaders behaving like celebrities at a lavish party, while ordinary people were grappling with unimaginable losses. He compares their behavior to Charlie Sheen at his wildest, drawing laughter and nods of agreement. But beneath the humor lies a scathing commentary on the disconnect between the elite and the rest of society. Ricky's ability to turn real societal grievances into digestible satire is what makes him a master of his craft, uniting audiences in laughter and shared discontent.
yeah, well, that's the thing about offence, isn't it? When people say they're offended, it's that, just because you're offended, it doesn't mean you're right, you know? It's... offence is about feelings, and feelings are personal. Some people are offended by equality. So what? You know, so you can't second-guess people. If you try and please everyone, you'll please no one. With comedy as well, I think you've got to deal with taboos and contentious issues, and sometimes you deal in irony, and some people don't get that. But, you know, you can't legislate against stupidity, otherwise you'll be doing nothing, you know, because I'm not doing it for the 200 egos in the room. I'm doing it for the 200 million people watching around who aren't winning awards, who aren't millionaires. And freedom of speech is so important these days. I've reached the age now where I don't care anymore. It's a sin. Not to joke about all the bad things, that's a waste, because that's exactly what we should joke about.
Just because you're offended doesn't mean you're right, Ricky Gervais once said. And this simple yet profound observation has become a cornerstone of his philosophy on comedy and free speech. For Gervais, humor isn't about playing it safe or catering to everyone's sensibilities. It's about tackling taboos, sparking conversation, and challenging the status quo, even if that means some people won't get the joke. He's unapologetic about his approach, insisting that comedy should confront life's darkest truths. Woke culture, in Ricky's eyes, often stifles creativity and encourages self-censorship. By focusing on feelings over facts, it risks turning discourse into a minefield where comedians must tread lightly, fearing backlash. Gervais rebels against this, pointing out that the essence of comedy lies in its ability to provoke thought, not to appease everyone. Freedom of speech is more important than ever, he asserts, and his commitment to this belief resonates with millions. For Ricky, the greatest sin isn't offending someone. It's letting fear stifle your voice.
She knew she couldn't explain paedophilia to a 7-year-old, right? But this is what she came up with. She said, because there's a man going round and he's cutting little boys' willies off.
Ricky Gervais doesn't shy away from the uncomfortable. He leans into it. One of his most audacious anecdotes involves a mother explaining pedophilia to a child, an intentionally absurd and darkly humorous scenario. While some might balk at the subject matter, Gervais's approach serves a deeper purpose. He forces audiences to confront the uncomfortable truths society often avoids, using humor as a tool to process and discuss these issues. In a world increasingly defined by woke culture's emphasis on sensitivity, Ricky's unapologetic style stands out. He sees humor as a necessity, a way to navigate life's harshest realities. For him, avoiding dark topics isn't protecting anyone. It's wasting an opportunity to spark dialogue and understanding. Through his boundary-pushing comedy, Ricky challenges the notion that certain topics are off-limits. His message is clear. Comedy isn't about playing it safe. It's about shining a light on the darkest corners of the human experience and finding ways to laugh through the pain. Ricky Gervais has built a career on his willingness to challenge norms, and woke culture has become one of his favorite targets. For Ricky, the rise of woke ideology represents both a fascinating cultural shift and a stifling creative force. He doesn't deny the importance of progress or equality, but he warns against the pitfalls of overcorrection. Woke culture, as Gervais sees it, risks becoming a modern form of censorship, where the fear of offending takes precedence over honest expression. He's quick to point out the irony. A movement originally rooted in inclusivity can sometimes silence the very voices it claims to champion. Gervais' comedy acts as a counterbalance, reminding us that free speech and critical thinking are vital in a healthy society. His unapologetic humor, combined with his willingness to address controversial topics, has cemented his status as a cultural provocateur. Whether you agree with him or not, Ricky Gervais continues to spark debate and push boundaries, proving that laughter remains one of the most powerful tools for challenging societal norms. Ricky Gervais' humor is a reminder of why freedom of speech is crucial in any society. His critiques of woke culture invite us to question where we draw the line between progress and censorship. Agree or disagree, his unapologetic approach forces us to confront important issues with honesty and wit. If you value comedy that challenges the status quo, sparks conversations, and reminds us to laugh at life's absurdities, share this video and join the conversation. Let's keep the dialogue going about how we can balance cultural sensitivity with the freedom to speak our minds. After all, as Ricky says, comedy should never be afraid to push boundaries. It's how we grow as individuals and as a society. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Ricky Gervais's fearless humor and his commentary on woke culture, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more thought-provoking content. Hit the like button if you appreciate comedy that challenges societal norms, and share this video with your friends to keep the conversation alive. Your support helps us bring you more insights into the world of comedy, free speech, and cultural debates. Let's laugh, learn, and grow together, one video at a time.